Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. On today's episode, let's take a look at today's Apple announcements. So there were two major product announcements today. One was of a new MacBook and the other was of the details of the release of the Apple Watch. But before we get to that, Apple had a little bit to say about Apple TV. Apple TV, of course, is the $99 device that you can get and hook up to your television. And it's now going to drop down to $69 and have an important new app on it. It's the HBO Now app. This allows you to pay independently for HBO. It's a pretty significant change to the whole cable ecosystem because in the past cable channels like HBO required that you have a cable subscription or satellite TV subscription even if you wanted to use an internet version of it like say HBO Go. So this kind of changes the game for that and moves things a little bit closer to being able to cut the cord for a lot of people. Now we have the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, but Apple is going to once again start using the name just MacBook for this new product. It's a 12-inch super thin MacBook, thinner than the MacBook Air in fact, and it's not only thinner but it's lighter than any of the other models as well. A new keyboard that's super thin, which it has to be in order for this model to be as thin as it is. And in addition to that, it also has a new type of trackpad. The trackpad doesn't actually move when you click it, but it does detect the force and it gives you feedback using taptic feedback so you can kind of feel your click. In addition to that, it looks like that feedback can be used by software for things. And it can also detect levels of force. So for artists that draw or for just being able to do different types of clicks, it should be interesting what new features of software come up now that we have a kind of force detection trackpad. This is not only going to be on the new MacBook, but it looks like it's going to make its way to the MacBook Pro models as well. So one big new change here with this new MacBook is a new type of connector that's going to use a standard connector called a USB-C connector. And it's this really tiny connection that can carry both power and data. Matter of fact, it also can carry video. And there's only going to be one of them on this entire thing. So basically you can plug it into something for power or you can plug it into a USB peripheral. I'm sure that there are going to be these little devices, little docks that come around that allow you to plug it into power and USB and external monitors all at once. People have been talking about the USB-C connector for a while and predicting that Apple is going to start adopting it. The price for the new MacBook is going to be $1299 with a model with a little more processor power and storage for $1599, and it's going to be available on April 10th. You can go to apple.com to look at exact specs for the new model. Now the announcement of a new MacBook was a bit of a surprise for a lot of people, but what wasn't a surprise is details on the Apple Watch. So now we know the prices for them. There are going to be three different styles of Apple Watch. The Apple Watch Sport, Apple Watch, and Apple Watch Edition. Apple Watch Sport is on the low end starting at $349, and then you've got a mid-range Apple Edition that will be steel. The low end Sport will be aluminum, and the steel one is going to start at $549 but customizable all the way up to over $1,000. Then there's going to be the Apple Watch Edition, which is the gold version of the watch that they gave a general price range of around $10,000. And we now know when we'll be able to get an Apple Watch. On April 10th they'll be in stores and you'll be able to go and take a look at them. And then you'll also be able to pre-order one. And it will be April 24th when you will actually be able to get your hands on your very own Apple Watch. For the basics, go and check the Apple website for details and product specifications. Thanks for watching.